Hey, welcome to Vegan Finds. Um, this is, I think, what, day 3 of Mushroom Week? Day 2? No, I think it's day 3.
No.
We're, okay, it's day 2 of Mushroom Week, and we are going to be making pepper steak. We're going to be using some Pioppino mushrooms and some maitake mushrooms, and we are going to going from this to this pepper steak using Pioppino mushrooms over some bamboo rice. If you have a chance to try bamboo rice, it is absolutely delicious. A little green tint to that color, and we threw on some sunflower sprouts to top it off. Okay, so in our pan, I'm actually going to start by putting the Pioppinos in here. And if you're not familiar with Pioppinos, they're a very earthy, woodsy mushroom. And I'm going to try and turn this into a steak-like texture by basically smushing it down with another pan on top. You've seen us do this with our Montreal steak recipe. So we're going to start to let this saute a bit, and then I'm going to get the other pan to push this down momentarily. But for right now, we're going to let this saute, let the mushroom soften up before we try and turn it into a steak. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my pan on top of the mushrooms. What I did is I added a little bit of water and vegan beef bouillon cube. So you can see it's cooking down right here. We want to keep the pressure on. When the water evaporates, what I'm going to do is then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to put a little oil in the pan at the same time to give it a sear, to make it a little more steak-like. And then we will be cooking our peppers and onions. And this is, look at the size of this onion. This thing is huge. So it's going to be a nice pepper steak. We're going to add some soy sauce and a little bit of cornstarch, some onion and garlic powder, and boom, it'll be. So our Pioppinos are now cooked, and we're going to take them off our pan. You can just put them right there. And now we're going to just cook the peppers and onions of the pepper steak, get them cooked down. Then we're going to add back our pepper steak to this. Okay, so just to be aware, when you're cooking the Pioppinos, the stems are very chewy. So if you don't like chewy texture, then Pioppino is probably not the mushroom for you. So with that in mind, I'm going to be adding some sliced button mushrooms here. We got some beautiful ones from the market. And quite honestly, this is mushroom week, so we might as well just, throw caution to the wind. Add a bunch of mushrooms. In my brand new measuring cup here, I got a 1/4 cup of tamari. I'm going to be adding a teaspoon of onion powder and a teaspoon of garlic powder and some ginger, some ground ginger. So there we go in there. And then I'm going to add a little bit of cornstarch and water together, or actually tapioca starch in this case. I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit to get this stuff cooking a little bit faster. Probably should have put the mushrooms in before the other items, because they seem to take a little bit longer, but that's alright. Okay, so into my pan I'm adding my slurry, which is 1/4 cup of tamari, 2 tablespoons of water that I added 2 teaspoons of tapioca starch to and pre-mixed it. A teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a half a teaspoon of ginger. I'm added the Pioppinos back into this, and we're just going to let this cook for a little bit and thicken up, and it will be done momentarily. So this is a really fast recipe. You can see the sauce is thickened up very nicely, and got a good hit of ginger in there. You can add more ginger, you could add more garlic, you could add whatever fresh vegetables you like to this. It's going to come out great regardless. The Pioppinos are a very meaty, very chewy mushroom. Kind of gives it a little steak-like texture to this. I added the button mushrooms just as an additional protein kick and texture profile. So there you have it. I will show you the final plating momentarily. Okay, so here's the finished product. We got our pepper steak using Pioppino mushrooms. Now, as I said previously, the Pioppino mushroom, the stem has got a very chewy texture, but the flavor is very earthy, meaty. It's really delicious, and to enhance that meaty flavor, what I did is I took some of the vegan beef bouillon cube. I dissolved it in some water, losing my train of thought because I'm so damn hungry, and added and basically poured it into the pan, and then smashed down the mushrooms to give it a more flattened texture, so it'll be more like the sliced steak that you would get with a pepper steak. So if you like these videos, please click subscribe, hit the notification bell, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, share, follow us on Instagram at veganfine, and also on Twitter at veganfine. You'll see stuff that we cook. Some of it we video, some of it we don't. Some of it we video and we don't show you because I either spaz out and forget to put on the mic, or I screw something up. So in any event, enjoy, be safe, and sayonara.